Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I have a video that I had all set. I was actually starting to download it this morning, and as I was downloading it, I was watching a TV show. There's a TV show on in the background, Alone. And I'm going to wait to download the video that I was going to download. I'm going to download it probably this afternoon, Sunday afternoon. I want to talk about the TV show Alone a little bit. The video that I'm gonna download, that I was gonna download right now, it's an interesting video, and I actually made it a week and a half ago, and I've been hesitant to download it. I recorded it while I was in the exercise room on a treadmill, and there was a guy in there for a while exercising with me. He's around my age, except he let me know that he was a MAGA Trumper, and he shared a thought process with me on how he believes his excessive flatulence is not only healthy, but it attracts women. I swear to God. And I've been hesitant to download this video, just because of the nature of it. And I actually recorded it while I was on the treadmill. The moment he walked out the door, I was like, oh my God, I got to talk about this. And I started recording. So I'm on the treadmill. And I just been hesitant to download it. I was almost considering downloading it on TikTok because it's a little less, they're a little less picky about what I talk about. But I'm going to download it here. Anyway, as I was getting ready to download that this morning, I was watching the TV show Alone was on in the background, and I just want to talk about that a little bit because I had some. It affected me. I was watching it, and I was these. If you're familiar with the TV show Alone, they have 10 contestants, I believe, that go into these very remote, forbidding areas like Saskatchewan, Canada, Patagonia, the Arctic Circle. I think just these forbidding areas. They have very little food, very little. Got a lot of predators, bears, badgers. It's just hard to survive there. And they send these people in alone by themselves and whoever can last the longest. And they send there's no camera crew. They film themselves. You guys probably know the show I'm talking about. And as I was watching it this morning, I just had some thoughts. At 58 years old, and now that I've been clean and sober for 17 and a half years, I believe it's just changed my thought process. And I really want to talk about time versus money. I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife or anything like that. And I'm totally comfortable being by myself. I've actually spent at least a couple days, not even talking to another living soul. Like painting in my artwork, being here in my apartment all by myself, and not talking to another human being for a couple days. I grew up out in the woods. Like I told you guys before, I was my father was a park ranger. And nobody lived within a mile of us. Nobody. And I grew up by myself in the woods, building forts and hunting and all that stuff. And you'd think you'd think this would be my forte, but I wouldn't do this. I really wouldn't. And it's because time is more valuable to me than money. As I watched the TV show this morning, almost all these people have these families. They're like younger guys in their 30s, and they have a wife and young children at home. And I started wondering, how much they win $500,000, $500,000. And I'm sure they think about how this money, they're doing it for their families, for their kids' college educations, for their wives, for a vacation home, to make things easier and better for their families. But I had some of the stuff I've been through, losing my father at 9 years old, losing my soulmate 2.5 years ago to COVID. And time has become more important to me than money. So I really started thinking about it. I just had this thought. At the end of these people's lives, when any of these contestants that are on Alone say they know that they're near the end of their life, their kids are all grown up, maybe their wife is still alive or their husband's still alive, maybe they're not, maybe they're 60, 70 years old, they're laying in a hospice bed or something. Would they regret that? Would they regret trading the most valuable days of their lives, the most memorable days of their lives, like when their kid's birthday, their 3-year-old's birthday, Christmas, when with their wives, and their little children? being away, would they trade that back, that $500,000 back, just to have those days back? At the end of their lives, how much would those days that they had traded away from their families, for money, how much would that be worth? Would they regret doing that? I believe they would, because to me, especially after addiction. Let me share this with you. This one thought with you. I remember when I was in and out of detoxes and rehabs. I told you guys this over 13 times. And every time I would go into, I'd sit and talk to addiction specialists, doctors, psychologists. This is part of being in detox and rehab. Every day I'd sit down with doctors. And I remember sitting with this one doctor that saw me all the time. This is the doctor that told me on my 13th time there, he told me that I wouldn't be welcome back again. I used to go to the hospital emergency room and admit myself to the detox, to the rehab. And he said, next time we're not taking you in, because it's been 13, you spent how many times here, Daryl, and you just keep coming back every 3 months. It's obviously not working, and we're not going to do it anymore. And he told me that. And that played a big, that was a rock bottom for me, because this was a safety net for me. When I hit a patch, when, the shit was hitting the fan, people were after me for money. I was out of money. I was out of everything. I'd screwed everything up. I would just go into detox. And it made me realize that. And he asked me this. He asked me, why do you want to get clean and sober? And the answer came right to me. And I still remember this, even though, the condition I was in. I wanted to spend time with my family, my mother and my sister, because we grew up after my father died. It was me, my mom, and my sister. And we're still a tight little unit. My mom's married. My mom's remarried to a great guy, and my sister is married and to a great guy. But we're all still tight. And I said to that doctor, what I want most is to spend sober time. And this is right when I was still using. I want to spend some time sober with my family while I still have them. My mother was probably in her 70s, 60s, early 60s then, retiring. And I knew she was getting older. She's 80 now. And I'm glad I made this decision. Every week I go out to breakfast. I buy breakfast, and me and my mom go out and talk, like at Dunkin' Donuts, every week. And, this has held true for me. One of the most important things, I wanted to be sober. I wanted to spend clean time. That's what meant the most to me. That's, it wasn't anything else. It was just, I wanted time with my family, because I knew that's something I was missing. And plus I knew how much it was hurting them. But spending that time, just spending time, it's not about, and time became more important to me than money. I think time has always been more important to me than money. Being a starving artist, I've chosen this way. I feel that how I spend my days and the things I see, all you touch, in the words of Pink Floyd, all you touch and all you see is all your life will ever be. From that song, Run, Rabbit, Run. Time. The song's Time by Pink Floyd. I actually used that in my my yearbook in high school, my photo. So as I watched the show Alone this morning, I thought about it. Is $500,000, $500,000, is it worth it? Is it really worth it to not only just to torture yourself or put yourself through that, but the time, those days that you're missing with your family? How much would you once they're gone, once you're gone, once you're about ready to leave this world? Will you look back at you're basically selling those days for $500,000. You're selling time with your family for money, and I don't think it's worth it. I wouldn't do it. Just the thought I had this morning. The video about the flatulent MAGA Trump supporter is coming up. I just wanted to share that with you about the show Alone. There'll be some links down below. I think the 12th season is coming on now. I know they were casting for it in November 2023. The 12th season of Alone. And I'll have some information on that down below. Stay tuned for the MAGA man flatulence video. All right. Have a good Sunday.